Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Empyrion Galactic Survival episode 77. I'm Enigmius and today we're continuing with the Manta Assault Hover build that we've been working on for, I think this is the 16th episode in the mini-series so far. We're making good progress, albeit not necessarily in a straight line. Sometimes that's just the way it works out. Right now we're working on part of the exterior hull of one of the cosmetic air intake vents. We're doing this side, get it the way that we want it, and then we're going to duplicate it over on the other side of the ship, and that will be that. We're far enough along now in the series that some of the things that we talked about early in the series are kind of lost to antiquity for a lot of people who are coming in a little bit late, midway through, or just deciding to skip the first few episodes. So this is a great opportunity while we're making some adjustments to the hull design here to talk about what we're working on, what we're going to be doing going forward, sort of a timeline and an idea of what's going on with this whole thing. This whole mini-series was kind of in response to someone who had requested a block-by-block build based on some of the ship designs that I had done in the past. And I thought about it, and I decided that the only way that I could make that happen was, one, if we did it on a ship that was large enough that we could make it interesting, but small enough that it wouldn't take us 6 months to do this series. So this is what we came up with. I had an idea in my head for a new hover vessel, even though we just finished building another one that I'm very happy with in terms of the design. But this is kind of an opportunity for us to do that block by block sort of thing and show the process as much as, if not more so, than the end result. That's kind of the thing that's important with a build like this, is that we're not necessarily focused on just getting from A to B as fast as we possibly can, from nothing to a finished ship in the least amount of time. It's to offer a realistic idea of exactly what the build process for me is like. And the whole idea for me and the value that I think a series like this brings is not necessarily that it's the kind of thing that you watch from end to end for pure entertainment. It's the kind of thing that you watch in bits and bites, either as the series episodes are available, or just as it's convenient and appealing for a person to do so, to get an idea of what this process is like. I get the impression, and again, reading Reddit, reading comments in the videos that I've done previously, looking at some of the ships that other people have built, there's this impression that a ship is something that you jam together in 90 minutes, and if it takes any longer than that, you're doing something wrong. If it's not looking the way that you want it to, it's because you suck at building and you can't do any better. It's a lot of the anti-creativity that is something that I'm trying to address here, is giving people an opportunity to look at how some of my builds come together. And hopefully that puts them in a position to say, you know what, it's okay if my builds take longer to build. It's okay if they don't look the way that I want them to the first time through. These things can take a bit of time. And along the way, there are going to be areas that we work over and over and over again until we get them right. But we don't have to do it all at once. We don't have to drive ourselves nuts to do it. You've seen, we'll work on one area and then we'll leave it and we'll work on another area and then we'll come back and we'll rework the first area that we did, and on and so on and so forth. And there's a lot of freedom to be had and a lot of freedom to be enjoyed in that approach. I don't put pressure on myself to get things done the first, second, or third time through. They're done when they're done. And in this case, with a ship like this, it just so happens that one of the areas that's taking the most amount of time right now is the exterior of the hull for the air vents. It's just, we put them together and then we started putting other things together, and we realized that there were a few things we needed to change, and then changing those, we needed to change some more things. It's just the way it rolls out. Now, I actually had someone comment, and I couldn't tell if they were trying to be funny or if they were being snarky, because most of their comment just didn't make a lot of sense to me. But part of the comment was that it takes me hundreds of hours to build a ship. And I think to myself, if people are getting that impression from what I'm doing now, then I've done it wrong. It's the only thing that I can think of. This ship, from beginning to end, the total build time will probably be in and around 10 hours. which to me is not at all unreasonable when we're talking about a game where people already have over 2,000 hours spent playing the game. To have 10 hours devoted to a single ship, it's not that long. It's not that long a period of time, and especially when you consider that for the most part, it's not all adding things. It's not 10 hours that makes the ship bigger and bigger and bigger and requires more and more materials for every minute that you spend. This is a very expensive ship for its size when you consider the average hover vessel and what you put into it in terms of materials, and thus the cost of the materials. It's a little bit more than what most people would expect, but it's by no means a 100-hour ship, and that's something that I want to clarify. So that brings us to the next logical topic of discussion for people who are kind of feeling a little bit antsy about this series and where we're going. What are we doing? First of all, we've got about 2.5 or 3 episodes worth of footage left that will finish this reworking of the exterior hull for the air vents, but we'll also work on the top rear portion of the ship and get that finished. Once that's done, all we have left to do is the section between the top portion of the hull and the bottom portion of the hull along the front of the ship. Basically, think of it as a car. The grill is basically all that we will have left to do. And then once that's done, we'll have the duplication over to the other side of the ship, which we will do off camera. Having done it once, I don't necessarily think there's a lot of benefit in making people watch it again. If they want to watch it again, they can go back and watch the videos where we did it the first time again. Excuse me. But at the same time, you know, just in the interest of pushing things forward so that people are able to see what the end result is going to look like based on what we've done, we'll just do that off camera. We'll do the port side, get that done. We'll show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to do one more pass over the entire ship, get everything exactly the way that I want it to, and then show you the end result from that. Then we'll paint it, we'll texture it, we'll do everything we need to finish it. We'll make sure we've got all the guns, all of the containers for ammunition and supplies. Everything that we need to put on the ship will be on the ship, and then we'll take it out for a quick run. So probably looking at 5 or 6 more episodes after this one, and then we will be done and taking the ship out for a spin. The next build that we're going to do is going to be a capital vessel. We are going to get off of Maspero because this is just not a very effective place to be spending time. Before we leave Maspero, I'm going to do a quick run around all of the points of interest. We're going to rate them, take all the goodies out of them, try and get some of the the mining turret cores, the ship-based mining component cores. I don't know exactly what they're called because I haven't found any yet. I haven't had time. We're going to make sure that we're in a position, once we get onto a new planet, we're going to build the capital vessel, and then we're going to build a mining ship, and then we're going to go from there. So, I mean, we still have plenty of builds left to do, but one of the things that we are going to do with the capital vessel is we're going to do an even more aggressively edited version so that repetitious stuff is going to be largely cut out. If you see me doing something the first time and then I rework it 3 or 4 times until we finally get to the working version, you'll see the first time and you'll see the last time, and the stuff in the middle we'll just assume was inconsequential because we got rid of it and reworked it twice. So that's kind of the goal. So I have heard the feedback that the format is a little bit concerning for some people, but at the beginning of this series, I promised it was going to be a block-by-block build of the whole thing, and I can't change that now because a handful of people are unhappy with it, because for every person that's saying they're unhappy with it, there are people who are counting on me to do what I said I was going to do and present this a certain way. So that's kind of where I'm at. As far as the changes for this particular episode on this part of the air intake, we're just about there. We're just going to let you watch the rest of it. We'll turn up the music. You can enjoy, see what we're doing. The next episode, we're going to pick up where we left off. And like I say, 2-3 episodes from now, you're going to see a very different looking ship with a lot more done. And then we'll get into the front grille, duplicating it over to the other side, doing another pass to get everything looking the way we want it to, add all the stuff, paint it, texture it, and we'll take it out for a rip, and then we'll move on. So if you want to be notified about the next and future episodes, you can subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on social media. Links for social media are always in the information section below the video. Feel free to leave your comments and feedback. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.